Dilapidated. So it's kind of a funny word, and it's not used too often, but I do hear it every once in a while. Dilapidated means well used. I thought this couch was a great example. This picture of a couch came from furniture used in university housing or dorms. So it has duct tape on it. It's definitely, people have sat here a lot because the cushions are starting to get a little squished. So when something's dilapidated, it can still be used, but it's going to look really, really run down and worn out. If a car is dilapidated, it might have rust on it. It might have a door that doesn't quite close right. It definitely means that something is old, worn, well used would be another way to describe it. Dilapidated. I try to get rid of my vehicles before they are dilapidated. Oh, here we go. More with vehicles. A rust bucket. So this is an informal term for a really old car that has rust on it. This car has some rust on the front. And this is only used for a car. Like, oh, I'm going to put my sports car in the garage for the winter and I'm just going to drive an old rust bucket. That means you're going to find a car that runs, but that, definitely has rust on it. It's kind of a funny term, a rust bucket. I try also not to have rust buckets for vehicles, but my one van is a bit of a rust bucket now. It has a little bit of rust along the bottom on both sides. So hopefully it lasts a little bit longer. Falling to pieces or falling apart. This is a phrase, term that I've taught in other lessons. When something is falling to pieces or falling apart, it literally has pieces disappearing. So this row of, I guess, couches, chairs, there's no cushions in the bottom. They've fallen apart. It's probably rotted, and there's no way that you could sit in these. We had a bread machine in our kitchen, and the lid didn't close right, and it would fall off sometimes. And then it was just starting to fall apart. So it was falling to pieces. It was falling apart. Definitely time to replace something if it's starting to fall apart. A gut job. So this is kind of a fun term. Your gut is your stomach, but we also use gut to mean to remove everything in a place. If I bought a house and I walked into this kitchen, I would say, oh, this is a gut job. What that means is that I am going to take all of these cabinets out. I don't even know what that appliance is over there. I don't know what's on the wall, but I am going to gut this place. It is a gut job. I'm going to remove all of the ugly paneling, all of the cabinets. I'm going to take everything out. I'm going to make it all nice, and I'm going to put all new stuff in. If you ever watch home renovation shows in English, sometimes the people will look at a house and they'll say, oh, this bathroom is a gut job. It means they're going to take out the toilet, the sink, the bathtub. Everything is so old and probably falling apart that it's not worth fixing. To me, this is definitely a gut job. I would definitely rip all this out, go to the home furnishing store or the home renovation store and get new items for that room. Neglected. So when something is neglected, it means that it doesn't mean there's a raccoon living there, but it can. Buildings, cars, furniture, you need to take care of them. When something is neglected, it means no one is cleaning it. No one is fixing things on it. No one is, with a car, no one is changing the oil. With a yard, no one is cleaning up leaves. With a roof, no one is looking for holes made by animals. So when you use neglected to talk about something that isn't beautiful or that's getting old, it definitely means that there's no person taking care of it. There's no person maintaining it. No one is coming and checking on things. So if a building's neglected, then eventually animals can find a way in. If a car is neglected, eventually it stops running, because if you don't change the oil or check for oil leaks, eventually the car will break down. Derelict. Notice a lot of these words have similar meanings. Like, let me see here. Decrepit, ramshackle, run down, derelict. These all are very, very similar. This is a derelict building. A derelict building also will most likely be abandoned because it's be hard to live in this, right? Like if you see, it looks like both end walls are just gone. Let me see if I can make it a tiny bit bigger. I'm wondering if the roof leaks. I actually wonder if that ladder is even safe to climb on anymore. But this building is definitely derelict. It's definitely falling apart. You could say that as well. So derelict also has in the meaning the sense that no one is there fixing things. In shambles. So after a storm goes through a city, it can be in shambles. After a teenager lives in a bedroom for a few months, the bedroom can be in shambles. It can simply mean things are a mess, or it can mean that things have been destroyed a little bit. I'm trying to think of another thing. Sometimes if you look in someone's car, it's just in shambles. Like there's just garbage everywhere. But definitely after a hurricane goes through a town or city, there will be areas that are just in shambles where people need to clean things up. Things need to be repaired. Things need to be taken care of for sure. Crumbling. So when something is crumbling, it means that it was solid and now it's starting to break into little pieces. This sidewalk is crumbling. Over here, the sidewalk looks nice. But way over there, you can see it's starting to crumble. It is crumbling. Crumbs, when you eat bread, little pieces of bread fall when you cut bread, and those are called crumbs. So we use this word to describe other things as well. This sidewalk is crumbling. The road is crumbling a little bit. Where I walk along the road, there's a few spots where the pavement is crumbling. So it was solid and nice, and now it's starting to fall apart. And there's tiny pieces. So it is crumbling. I have to watch one spot on the road because the road kind of goes like this, and it's even the side of the road it's crumbling, and there's chunks of pavement everywhere, and it's a little bit unsafe. If I don't look down when I walk through that section, I could injure myself. Decaying. So decaying is a little bit different. A sidewalk can crumble, brick can crumble, but when we use